Parlee Taos. You think you can walk right up in here and change the whole gravel game. But you know what? Klein sees you for what you really are. A bunch of overpriced, expensive plastic tubes. So when we meet for the first time this weekend in the Bacona back roads, I'm gonna put you through the chunder and find out what you're really made of. Because when I call out those ride by the numbers, you can be dang sure we won't be mentioning you.
All right, first ride on the Parlee Taos. No easy miles, no test laps. We're going straight into the big stuff to find out if this high-end fancy lad is just talking the talk or if it's able to walk the walk. And if that wasn't enough, we've got Ron Corner Knob Lewis in our corner for the moral support. Almost got killed by a mini. All right, a couple first quick impressions. It's light, it feels agile, it's comfortable. So far, so good. And also, today Ron is riding on the big brother of this Taos, the Salsa Cutthroat. Any expectations for this bike?
Comfort, cushion comfort.
All right, this thing is a climber. No denying it. Oh God. And part of the reason I attribute this to climbing so well is that the wheelbase is just a little stretched out. You're a little more in the bike and it's very light. All of those things make good for up. One of those things might be very helpful for going down, which that's the next. While this video is not sponsored by Parlee, they did provide the bike. In fact, I asked them for it because I wanted to try this because I figured you would be just as interested in it as I am. And it is like such an interesting bike. Before we hit this first descent, I want to express my one little bit of concern. And it's that these 45C tires measure out to 41 millimeters, which is not the biggest deal. The thing is, I'm just a little nervous because I'm used to bigger tires. So hopefully it's unjustified. Potentially it could be justified. There's only one way to find out. Oh. All right, today's blocks of fuel, homemade rice balls. Nothing fancy, white rice, smoked salmon. Kind of fancy.
Fusion fiber is very, very comfortable, and it's kind of intangible. It's hard to describe, but I think you likened it to the ride feel of steel. The chatter disappears. It's just like a hum. You're just kind of, all you hear is the wind. I'm not trying to marry you,
Left. So it's not that way?
I think we did that last time, but I don't want to make that mistake again.
Dude, it's like the Bermuda Triangle back here. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. This is some freshly logged blowout right here. They're actively logging right over there. Look at that. If you're into irresponsible gravel adventures, feel free to subscribe.
It's like floating on a cloud of kittens.
Chunder. I'm not used to the 2x. God damn it. That's a user error right there. There's like 4 more buttons than I'm used to today. Dude, this thing on the descents, woo-hoo-hoo!
Thing really likes to go.
Dude, that fancy lad knows how to take it.
Is that Dr. Prancer over there?
Bring the chunk.
You ever feel like you're the only one that actually gets cycling? Like, not as a sport, but more as a way of life? You're not alone. In fact, we're everywhere. Like Fight Club with bikes. Fight Club? And with the help of the EBD Gear Shop, we can spot our people in the wild. It's like a secret handshake that only cyclists understand. Engage your core, visit the EBD Gear Shop, and be prepared for your new and better life. Because you never know when your next best riding companion will be standing next to you in line.
I guess, you know, it's a good day when our water doesn't freeze. I said this before, but the shifting with Shimano is so smooth, it really stands out. It's almost like you can't tell if it shifted or not. You're like, oh yeah, it did do it, okay. So far, this thing is leaving a bit of an impression. There is one thing specifically that I know I'll change, but I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Just want to make sure that's...
Single track test.
Oh, it's slick. Man, this thing, it really gets along well with the smooth and flat. Comfortable, quick, could sit here for longer than I wanted. I do got to admit though, the shifting with big lobster muffins is, you know, sometimes you go to hit one, but you hit both. It's just, when there's no glove on, they work great. But when you have a big glove on, they're just a little, it's like a little tricky. It's sub-ideal. I'm either not used to it or there's too many buttons. Yeah. This thing, it's surprisingly light, huh?
Yeah, this is great. Heck yeah, Gurks. You're gonna walk it, I'm gonna ride it.
Okay, here we go.
We'll see who gets there first.
Okay, here we go. I like these bars. They kick forward from the stem just a little bit, and there's a flat profile on the top, so it's comfortable. It feels a little more like performance. It's just subtle tweaks that, you know, they're pleasant. Anything you got to say about this bike?
But the overall takeaway is like this very floaty, very comfortable, very relaxed kind of ride feel. Everything is easy to reach. It feels intuitive. You're just there. You're kind of floating over it. You're just in it.
Somebody tell me all the time.
Okay, first thing I want to change on this bike is this is not necessary. I'm just really interested to see what it would do to the ride feel.
Paint it blue.
Is I gotta try this thing with some 50mm tires. I don't want too big, but I do want a little bit more girth because I feel like this thing's just begging for it. For science. The other thing that this bike is just asking for is a dropper. It leans mountain bike, like, help it lean, there you go. Okay, good shakedown. I've got some things to say, but first,
The ride by the numbers?
5 hours, 9 minutes rolling time,
59.5 miles
and 4,744 feet
Of elevation.
Okay, this thing has what I would like to call the entourage effect. The Chris King Fusion Fiber wheels matched up with the frame geometry and the way the carbon fiber is laid up, in addition to the ergon with the booty boost. All of those things add up to a compliant, comfortable experience. And I know this because by how my body feels right now after that ride. All of those little things add up to a smoother ride experience, which means I would be able to ride longer if I had gas in the legs, and I wouldn't be as fatigued from the frame or the setup that I'm riding. When your equipment doesn't work against you and actually helps you, that's a net win. So that means this fancy lad totally fulfilled its expectations, which was a very pleasant surprise. Although, it does make me wonder how this thing would handle a proper overnight mission like this one with Ron Lewis, the San Juan Islands. It was a session to remember. Although it was warm, which is